Okay, so I got my first two pieces out of the oven. As you can see, they're dyed. This is a white piece. These are the pieces I took out. As you can also see, they're all crinkled. So, if you don't mind that, you're good to go. But I do mind that. So, I put them on a piece, just a towel. This is just a kitchen towel, because I'm in my kitchen doing this. Then, I take my iron, you know, the iron you used it on your clothes, and I just sweep it over it. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't getting it good because I was paying attention to my ironing. On one side, and see how it's flat now compared to that piece. And then, just for good measure, I do it on the other side. And you have to do it kind of quickly, you know. You don't want to, like, hold the iron in one spot. But it's fine to do this. There's no problem with it. I put it on the cotton setting. You can experiment, put it on whatever setting you want. And it's still a bit wrinkled around the edges, but I think that's fine. I think that's part of the look, you know. I think it looks nice now. I'll do it on this piece too, so y'all can see again. Maybe better this time if I stay in frame. See, it just takes a quick sweep and you're done. You don't have to do the other side. I just do it so that it's nice and even. Just takes one quick sweep and you're good to go. And then it's kind of hot, but it's not too hot to touch, and you're good. And then you can put them over on the side and do whatever you want with them. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to take the ones that are plain, like these. I haven't ironed these yet, but that are just plain, and put these little darker spots on them. Now, originally, my way of doing this was using a mixture of balsamic vinegar and water. But the thing I didn't like about that was it creates these super wrinklies that there's no way to really get rid of them, because I did iron this piece and it creates these wrinkles. And then if you iron it too much, they get real dark like this. Or even worse, if you do it when they're too wet, they get real dark like this, like where it's like toasted looking, which I really don't like. You have to really let it dry first. And so I came up with another method using coffee, because the coffee will make it darker. And this is really kind of the first time I'm trying this method. I mean, I've tried it once before, but it didn't really work out too well. So you just kind of dab it on in the spots you want it to be darker. Sorry, ignore the oven. It's beeping, telling me my next piece is ready. It can sit in there for a second longer because it's usually not ready when it says it is anyway. So you just get a little bit in your spoon and you dab it on there in the spots you want it. I'm going to put it in several spots because this is just a trial piece. And you just dab it on there. And then you have to let it dry, and then once it's completely dry, 100% dry, you don't want to do it when it's wet, you can iron it. So I'll let this dry and get my other pieces out of the oven, and I'll come back and iron it and show you how it turns out. Okay, so as you can see, well, here's the test piece I did with the coffee. Looks pretty good. I starred that one because I did that one while it was still slightly damp. And then I did these three while they were dry. And as you can see, it looks nice. I like the way it looks. That one got a little bit more crinkly, while the other ones got a little better looking. This piece is pretty much all the way dry. That piece is slightly damp, but the others are dry. So I'm gonna go ahead, iron this piece. I didn't iron this piece ahead of time. I just went ahead and put it and decided I'd iron the whole thing all at once. And there we go. Can't really see much of the coffee on the back. It didn't soak through, I guess, like the balsamic vinegar does. But that's okay, I don't mind. Soaked through a little right there and a little bit right there. But the edges, like here, didn't really soak through because I didn't put that much on. But that's okay, I like the way it looks. I did one where I like splashed it like that, but this one's still dry. I can't iron it yet. So I'll show you how to do the envelopes next. Okay, here's a better example of one. This one went all the way through on both sides. on all the pieces. So I did this one a little heavier handed, I guess. And you can see, like, there's the corner, there's that spot, there's that spot. If you flip it over, there's that spot, there's that spot, there's the corner. Okay, I'm gonna now show you how to do the envelopes. So these, you wanna just put it in whole, like this, but open. And then make sure the tea or coffee gets inside the envelope. Push it down in there good. And then leave it in there for a couple minutes. And after a couple minutes, it'll start to unseal itself. And you'll wanna open it up. It'll start to unseal. Mine's too soon, I literally just put it in, y'all saw me. And it'll start to unseal itself, and you'll want to spread it open so that it gets good and soaked. And then you'll put it open like that, all the way open, onto your cookie sheet. You'll bake it like that, or let it air dry like that. And then it'll be open like that, and you'll just have to tape it back together. Either tape it or glue it back together once it's dry. And you'll have yourself a tea-dyed envelope. See, here it comes. So you just let it sit in here, open like this. I've got mine, some papers in there still, but it's fine to put it all in there together. So there, you let it sit like that, then put it on there, bake it, and take it out. Then you'd have to glue this back, the papers back together, or I use double-sided tape most of the time because the glue takes too long to dry and glue sticks don't really work for me. So I just double-side tape it most of the time. And you have to iron it or it's gonna be all crinkly again. But yeah, it works pretty good. And then you have yourself a tea-dyed envelope to match your tea-dyed papers. Okay, so here's one of the envelopes out of the oven and ironed. So it's flat again. Now it will lose the stickiness, but you can see where the sticky line was. So all you have to do is fold it up and then, sorry, it's hard to do with one hand, and then glue or tape that back there, and then this would be where you'd close the envelope up. So I went ahead and did that with one of them, and they may not fit together perfectly, so you may have to iron it once you've folded it. And then I just ironed up here so it would stay together. And I've double-side taped this. I cut one of the pieces, I got it lengthwise, and then I had to cut it in half so that it wouldn't tape it shut on the inside. I had to cut it in half lengthwise. But now it stays, and then there's the front. You know, it's tea-dyed, it looks perfect. And then when I have these and I fold them three-way like this, they'll fit inside the envelope perfectly. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to burn the edges. So as you can see, I've got a candle going. For this, I like to put a bowl of water on the side just to be safe, but you don't necessarily need that. You're going to need a damp sponge. This isn't dripping, as you can see. I can wad it up, it doesn't drip, but it is damp. And then you're going to need your paper and your lit candle. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your paper, I hope y'all can see this good, in your non-dominant hand, and you're going to want to light it on fire, and then immediately take your thing and your sponge and kind of grasp it like this, and once this is lit, immediately kind of snuff it like this. Just kind of snuff it out like that. Once it catches fire, just snuff it out. So I'll kind of demonstrate. I'm not great at this technique. I just learned this technique. I'm not great at it. And you can get your sponge more wet in the little water bowl if you'd like. You can let it burn longer or less if you want, however long you like. So here are my finished products. Here's a sample burnt piece. You can see, focus, the edges real good, and the burnt places, and the places where I did the discoloration. Then these are my papers. Get a big stack of them. Most of them are plain like this, but some of them I did do this kind of splash zone type thing to them, where they've got a little bit of the coffee on them. They're tea stained, but they've got a little bit of the coffee on them. There, like that. And then the envelopes I did. Some of them have a little coffee on them, just a couple of them, because I realized if I do the envelopes like that, it might be a little bit harder for the addresses to show through. So there's the backs. I taped them all back together, ironed them flat. So most of them, a few of them are like this, but most of them just plain. So I got a good stack of those too. So now I can write to all my pen pals, and I keep all my letter writing stuff in this box here. I just upgraded to this box, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Let's be.